The world rewards warmth, kindness, openness. At least that's what they tell you. But look around. Who actually wins? The man who shows his hand or the one who keeps it hidden? The one who reacts emotionally or the one who calculates in silence? Machiavelli knew something most people refuse to accept. Coldness isn't cruelty, it's clarity. And in a world built on manipulation, the cold man sees what others miss. He moves while they hesitate. He wins while they wonder why they lost. This isn't about being heartless, it's about being untouchable. You felt it before, that moment when your emotions betrayed you, when you said too much, showed too much, and trusted too soon, and someone used it against you. Maybe it was in a negotiation where you revealed your desperation. Maybe it was in a relationship where your vulnerability became a weapon in someone else's hands. Or maybe it was just a casual conversation where you gave away your position, and suddenly you were powerless. The problem isn't that you care, it's that caring that made you predictable. Emotions are information, and when you broadcast yours freely, you hand others the script to your next move. Meanwhile, the cold man, he watches, he listens, he never shows his cards until the game is already won. You're not losing because you're weak, you're losing because you're readable. Before we move on, I want you to type this affirmation in the comments section. I control what I reveal. My emotions serve me, not others. Niccolo Machiavelli didn't write The Prince to be liked. He wrote it to be understood. And what he understood was this: human nature is predictable. People are driven by fear, ego, desire, and insecurity. And whoever controls their own nature first can exploit everyone else's. The cold man isn't emotionless. He's disciplined. He feels everything you feel: anger, fear, attraction, frustration. But he doesn't let those feelings dictate his behavior. That's the difference. Most men are at the mercy of their emotions. The cold man is the puppeteer. Machiavelli observed the courts of Renaissance Italy, a world of assassinations, betrayals, and shifting alliances. And he noticed a pattern. The rulers who survived weren't the nicest or the most moral. They were the most strategic. They understood timing. They controlled perception. They never acted out of emotion, only calculation. Here's the paradox. Warmth creates attachment, but attachment creates weakness. When people know what you love, they know how to hurt you. When they see what you fear, they know how to control you. The cold man removes these levers, not by becoming robotic, but by becoming selective. He shows warmth when it serves him. He reveals emotion when it's intentional. Everything is a choice, not a reaction. Think of it like poker. The amateur shows excitement when he gets a good hand. The professional's face never changes. Both feel the same thrill, but only one wins consistently. So how do you become cold without becoming hollow? How do you cultivate this Machiavellian clarity without losing yourself? Let's break it down into 5 principles, each one a tool Machiavelli would recognize instantly. Principle 1. Master the pause. The cold man never reacts immediately. When someone insults him, he doesn't snap back. When someone offers him a deal, he doesn't accept on the spot. He pauses. Why? Because the pause creates space between stimulus and response. That space is where power lives. Most people are enslaved by their first impulse. Someone disrespects them, they lash out. Someone flatters them, they trust instantly. The cold man knows that the first reaction is almost always wrong. It's emotional, not strategic. So he trains himself to delay, even just 3 seconds. In those 3 seconds, he asks, what does this person want from me? What are they trying to trigger? What's the move that serves me best? Practice this today. When someone tries to provoke you, pause. When you feel the urge to defend yourself, pause. When you're about to say yes out of politeness, pause. The pause is where you take back control. Type this powerful affirmation in comments below. I pause before I respond. My reactions belong to me. Now, principle 2, never reveal your full hand. Machiavelli understood that mystery is power. The moment people fully understand you, they can predict you, and predictability is a weakness. The cold man is comfortable being misunderstood. He doesn't need everyone to get him. In fact, he prefers a little ambiguity. This doesn't mean lying. It means being selective with truth. You don't owe everyone access to your plans, your fears, your desires. Share strategically. Let people see what benefits you for them. Keep the rest private. Think about negotiations. If you walk into a salary discussion and immediately say, "I really need this job," you've lost. You've revealed desperation. The employer now knows they have leverage. But if you stay composed, ask thoughtful questions, let them wonder if you have other offers, suddenly they're trying to win you. The cold man always leaves people guessing just enough to stay valuable. Affirmation: I reveal only what serves me. Mystery is my shield. Principle 3, separate emotion from decision. Feel everything, decide from logic. That's the formula. The cold man doesn't suppress his emotions, that's repression, and it leads to an explosion. Instead, he acknowledges them without acting on them. Let's say someone betrays you. You feel rage. That's natural. But the cold man doesn't act from rage. He sits with it, processes it, then asks, what's the most effective response? Maybe it's cutting that person off silently. Maybe it's using the information they gave away to outmaneuver them later. Maybe it's forgiving them strategically to keep them close while you rebuild trust elsewhere. The point is, the emotion is valid, but the response is calculated. This takes practice. Start by naming your emotions in real time. I'm feeling angry right now. I'm feeling insecure. Just naming it creates distance. Then ask, what would the smartest version of me do here? That's your move. Affirmation: I honor my feelings, but I decide with my mind. Principle 4, create controlled distance. The cold man is not distant because he doesn't care. He's distant because he cares strategically. He knows that too much closeness clouds judgment. When you're emotionally enmeshed with someone, whether it's a romantic partner, a business associate, or even a friend, you stop seeing them clearly. You start making excuses for red flags. You start tolerating disrespect because you're attached. The cold man maintains just enough distance to stay objective. He can care deeply, but he never loses his ability to walk away if necessary. This is especially critical in relationships. The person who needs the relationship least has the most power. Not because they're cruel, but because they're not desperate. They can evaluate the relationship honestly. They can set boundaries. They can leave if it's no longer serving them. Practice this by auditing your relationships. Ask yourself, am I staying here out of love or out of fear? Out of value or out of habit? If the answer makes you uncomfortable, you know what needs to change. Affirmation: I love deeply, but I never lose myself in others. Principle 5. Use silence as a weapon. Silence is the most underrated tool in human interaction. Most people are terrified of it, so they fill every gap with words, explaining, justifying, oversharing. The cold man lets silence sit. Why? Because silence forces the other person to fill the void. And when they do, they often reveal more than they intended. Imagine you're in a meeting. You propose. Instead of anxiously adding more details, you stop talking. Let them sit with it. Watch what they do. Do they immediately accept? Do they squirm? Do they try to lowball you? Their discomfort is information. Use it. Silence also communicates confidence. The person who needs to talk is usually the person who needs approval. The cold man doesn't need to fill space. He's comfortable in his own presence. Practice this in conversations. After you make a point, stop. Don't elaborate unless asked. Let the silence work for you. Type this affirmation in the comments section. My silence speaks louder than my words. Here's what people misunderstand about Machiavelli. He wasn't teaching cruelty, he was teaching survival. He was teaching how to navigate a world where emotions are exploited, where kindness is mistaken for weakness, where the naive are devoured. The cold man isn't cold because he doesn't feel. He's cold because he's learned that uncontrolled emotion is a liability. He's learned that the world doesn't reward authenticity, it rewards effectiveness. And effectiveness requires clarity, composure, distance, strategy. But here's the nuance most people miss. You don't have to be cold with everyone. You don't have to approach your entire life like a chess match. The cold man is selective. He's warm with the people who've earned it. He's open with those who've proven trustworthy. But with everyone else, with the world at large, he's guarded, strategic, unreadable. Think of it this way. You have a castle. Inside that castle are the people you love, the dreams you protect, the values you hold sacred. The cold exterior isn't the real you, it's the wall that protects the real you. Most people build no wall. They let everyone in, and then they wonder why they feel violated, drained, betrayed. The cold man builds the wall first, then he decides who gets through the gate. This is how you win, not by being heartless, but by being intentional. Not by shutting down, but by waking up to how the game is actually played. Because, whether you like it or not, life is strategic. Every interaction is a negotiation. Every relationship is a balance of power. And the person who understands this first will always have the advantage. So what happens when you start applying this? When you master the pause, guard your truth, separate emotion from decision, create distance and weaponize silence, you stop being reactive. You stop being manipulated. You stop giving your power away in 1,000 tiny moments throughout the day. Instead, you become the person others can't quite figure out. The one who doesn't flinch under pressure. The one who doesn't chase, doesn't beg, doesn't break. You become dangerous, not because you're violent, but because you're unpredictable in the best way. People can't control what they can't read. Affirmation: I am strategic, composed, and in control. I choose my battles wisely. Now let's go deeper, because coldness alone isn't enough. Machiavelli also understood timing. The cold man knows when to act and when to wait. Most people make two mistakes. They move too quickly out of impulsiveness, or they wait too long out of fear. The cold man does neither. He observes. He gathers information. He waits for the exact moment when his move will have maximum impact. This is the art of strategic patience. It's knowing that sometimes the best move is no move at all. Let your enemies exhaust themselves. Let situations evolve naturally. Then, when the moment is right, you strike with precision. Think about nature. A crocodile doesn't chase its prey. It waits, motionless, patient. And when the prey comes close enough, one explosive move, game over. That's cold efficiency. No wasted energy, no unnecessary risk. Just perfect timing.
I wait for the right moment. My patience is my power. And here's another layer. The cold man understands leverage. Leverage is anything that gives you an advantage. information, resources, relationships, skills, reputation. The cold man is always building leverage, not in a manipulative way, but in a prepared way. He knows that the person with more options has more power, so he cultivates options. He builds skills that make him irreplaceable. He maintains relationships across different circles. He saves resources, so he's never desperate. When you have leverage, you negotiate from strength. When you don't, you negotiate from fear. Simple as that. Ask yourself, what leverage do I have right now? What could I build in the next 6 months? Maybe it's a new skill. Maybe it's financial savings. Maybe it's expanding your network. Whatever it is, start building. Because leverage is what turns coldness from a defensive posture into an offensive weapon. Affirmation: I build my leverage daily. I am always growing stronger. Now let's talk about perception management, one of Machiavelli's core teachings. The cold man knows that reality isn't just what is, it's also what people think is. If people perceive you as powerful, you become powerful. If they perceive you as desperate, you become vulnerable. So the cold man carefully manages how he's seen. This doesn't mean being fake. It means being intentional about the signals you send, the way you dress, the way you speak, the way you carry yourself, the things you say yes to and the things you decline. Everything communicates something. Make sure it's communicating what serves you. For example, never complain publicly, never apologize excessively, never explain yourself to people who don't matter. These behaviors signal insecurity. Instead, be brief, be confident, be consistent, let your actions speak, let people draw their own conclusions, and make sure those conclusions are in your favor. Affirmation: I control my image. I project strength, not desperation. Here's a truth that will make some people uncomfortable. Niceness is not a strategy. Niceness is what weak people use to avoid conflict. The cold man isn't mean, but he's also not nice for the sake of being liked. He's fair, he's respectful, but he doesn't compromise his boundaries to make others comfortable. When someone crosses a line, he doesn't smile and let it slide. He addresses it calmly, firmly, coldly. No anger, no drama, just clarity. That doesn't work for me. I won't tolerate that. We're done here. This is how you train people to respect you, not by being aggressive, but by being immovable when it matters. Boundaries without enforcement are just suggestions. The cold man enforces his. Affirmation: I set boundaries and enforce them without guilt or hesitation. Let's address the elephant in the room. Is this manipulative? Here's the distinction. Manipulation is using someone for your benefit at their expense. Strategy is acting in your own interest while respecting others' autonomy. The cold man doesn't trick people. He doesn't lie. He simply doesn't volunteer information that weakens his position. He doesn't fake emotions to exploit others. He just doesn't wear his heart on his sleeve where it can be used against him. If someone asks you directly about something, you can choose to answer honestly or decline to answer. Both are fair. What's not fair is pretending to be something you're not to extract value from someone. That's manipulation. Don't do that. But being strategic, guarding your truth, playing your cards carefully, that's just intelligence. And in a world where everyone else is playing the same game, you'd be foolish not to. Affirmation: I am strategic, not manipulative. I honor others while protecting myself. Now, the final piece, sustainability. You can't be cold 24/7. It's exhausting. And more importantly, it's unnecessary. The goal isn't to become a machine. The goal is to develop mastery over your emotional state so that you can choose when to be cold and when to be warm. With your family, your closest friends, the people who've proven their loyalty, you can relax. You can be vulnerable. You can let your guard down. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. You're choosing where to invest your trust. But with strangers, with competitors, With people who haven't earned access to your inner world, stay cold, stay strategic, stay protected. This balance is what Machiavelli would call virtue. Not virtue in the moral sense, but virtue as effectiveness. The ability to adapt, to be hard when necessary, soft when beneficial, to be a lion and a fox. Affirmation: I adapt to every situation. I am both strong and wise. So here's your final challenge. Starting today, practice one principle. Just one. Master the pause. Guard your truth. Separate emotion from decision. Create distance. Use silence. Pick one. Apply it for the next 7 days in every interaction. Notice what changes. Notice how people respond to you differently. Notice how you feel when you stop giving your power away. Because here's the truth Machiavelli understood 500 years ago, and most people still haven't learned. The world doesn't owe you fairness. It doesn't owe you kindness. It doesn't reward good intentions. It rewards results. It rewards strength. It rewards those who understand the rules of the game and play them better than everyone else. The cold man wins not because he's cruel, but because he's awake. He sees reality clearly. He doesn't wish it were different. He doesn't complain. He just adapts, strategizes, and moves forward. And that's the final secret. Coldness is just clarity wearing a mask. It's seeing people as they are, not as you wish they were. It's seeing yourself honestly, your weaknesses, your patterns, your vulnerabilities, and protecting them instead of broadcasting them. This is how you stop being a victim. This is how you stop being used. This is how you win. Not every time, not without effort, but consistently, strategically, and on your terms. Affirmation: I see the world clearly. I act with precision. I win on my terms. But this is only one part of the equation, because once you master emotional control, the next question becomes, how do you use this power ethically? How do you stay cold without becoming corrupt? How do you win without losing your soul? That's where the next level of mastery begins, and that's where most people who discover Machiavelli get lost. We'll explore that edge in the next one. Until then, stay cold, stay sharp, and remember, the game is already being played. The only question is whether you're playing it consciously or being played.